Tamar Braxton is out here proving that for some people, humiliation is their love language. Because in this latest installment of Please Take Me Out This Ratchet A Group Chat, Tamar accused Colonel Sanders of playing in her face when it's been way past time for her to look in the mirror to see who was really acting the fool. Now, I don't know whether she's following in the footsteps of her namesakes in the Bible, the one who depended on a man to keep his promise, and when he didn't, decided to be out in the streets and to try to make him do right by her, or the princess who begged the prince who despicably mistreated her to do right by her, or if she's just been indoctrinated by the lie that's been told to little girls for ages, that if a boy is picking on you or being mean to you, that means he likes you. When in truth, all that does is teach girls to accept and even expect being misused by someone telling them that they love her. Whatever hang-up Tamar has is making her a cautionary tale for the need to start prioritizing loving yourself over lying to yourself. Because the number of lies that Tamar told herself about the giant red flag that is Colonel Sanders took her on a journey of humiliation that has even those who don't particularly like her feeling some kind of way about how she let this man gaslight her just so she could say she had a man. She chose to play wifey to a man who is clearly having an identity crisis, when she herself is still dealing with her own self-esteem issues that no amount of face transplants is going to change. She let herself be used and discarded by a messy man. Because what else can you call a man with 5 kids and 4 baby mamas, with the youngest child not even being 1 year old when his father went on the dating show Queen's Court pretending like he was ready for a big commitment? In March of 2023, Tamar accepted the proposal of a serial disrespecter of women and told herself that despite the way he treated 4 other women as recently as less than a year ago, he was someone who would actually value her. That was the first lie Tamar told herself about this man, but it wouldn't be the last, because the two decided to share their toxic ride with the world and made sure we were privy to just about every detail of their struggle situationship. From the first time they broke up in September 2023, which was just a few months after he proposed, Tamar was preparing for her tour when she posted a garage surveillance video on IG showing her vehicle being robbed. She said that she had a lot of possessions in her car because she doesn't live anywhere, because she's not safe anywhere or with anyone. Now, instead of just letting it ride and moving on with his life, Colonel Sanders had to hop on IG to air Tamar out because strangers were talking about him.
Why Tamar Braxton's gaslighting ex keep on hopping on IG like we care about hearing his side.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
He said that he was not with Tamar when her car was robbed because he had ended their relationship to focus on getting back to positive energy, and that he needed time to heal. But he and Tamar would always be friends and family for life. He was letting everyone know that he dumped her and basically implying that Tamar was the negative energy. Tamar clapped back days later, right before her first tour date, and posted on IG that after so much hurt, at some point you have to have the strength to close the chapter. She then stated what a fool she was and how she couldn't believe she was going on her tour so broken. How people do things on purpose just to see others hurt. That misleading was a form of AB and a pattern, and how stupid she felt. Now, by this time, most people were just happy it was finally over, and we wouldn't have to be unwilling parties in a situationship that smelled defeat and desperation. Tamar went on her tour and met up with other easily triggered folks, which started a whole new social media frenzy, which soon had people like Tommy Lee from Love and Hip Hop accusing Tamar of clout chasing. Tamar clapped back at Tommy Lee, bringing in her alleged substance issues, and the next thing you know, about 5 days later, Colonel Sanders pops out with Tommy Lee at a basketball game. which clearly showed even the people in the back exactly what type of time Colonel Sanders was on, because showing up with her ops while Tamar is already dealing with another public scandal is nasty work. But apparently, Tamar bought into that other lie about love hurting, because the next week or so, at the end of November, Tamar and the Colonel showed up at a basketball game together. And then by early December, Tamar is on stage during her concert, calling Tommy Lee names again, and saying she had to get her man back, saying he didn't owe her any loyalty when they weren't together, and that he's a good man, Savannah. Now, whether Tamar knew all that had went down between Tommy Lee and the Colonel and was trying to do damage control, who knows? But she let her desire to prove to herself that she's better than the next one open a whole can of nasty worms that she should probably be making sure didn't wind up somewhere else on her body, because the very next day, Tommy Lee clapped back at the name calling by exposing that a basketball game was not all that went down between her and the Colonel, and told the whole world that the man Tamar was putting on a pedestal not only told all Tamar's business to a virtual stranger, but also ate Tommy Lee's groceries before she kicked him out. Apparently, that didn't faze Tamar, because by the end of December, the two were engaged again, and we were all kicked out of the group chat until May of 2024, when Tamar did a sit-down with Carlos King, and in response to being asked about Colonel Sanders, basically said that they were keeping whatever was going on between them private. Well, the Colonel took exception to this response and basically accused Tamar of letting him be thrown under the bus by her people and not protecting him, like he protects her even when they're not together. That the other was in her whole phase, while he was in his love phase, and he got his heart broken. Which seems like he's hinting that Tamar got her lick back and he couldn't handle it. And that's why you never stoop to another person's level by doing to them what they did to you. You get your lick back by putting all that energy that you would have used in being petty into loving yourself and moving on to better. Now, in response to his whining, Tamar immediately starts caping for Colonel Sanders and apologizes to the man who takes every opportunity he can to humiliate her. A few months go by, and the Braxtons revamp their TV show, and on August 12th, Tamar crashes out online, and in a series of tweets reveals to the world that she is single and sad, regrets joining the new TV show, that the Colonel, who has dumped her several times, means the world to her, and is actually her husband, and that he and their children have saved her life. Her family is toxic and always gaslighting her. She's going back into treatment and prays that her marriage can be saved and her life spared. She eventually deleted the tweets, and about a week later, she's posted up with Colonel Sanders at his birthday party, giving him a personalized iced-out pendant, for which she received a nice church hug and a backpack. Which brings us to the latest humiliation, when at the beginning of September, Colonel Sanders used Tamar's credit card to allegedly entertain another woman at a hotel when he was supposed to be meeting up with Tamar to support her at an event. Apparently, the Colonel was a no-show, but Tamar got an alert that her card had been used at a hotel in New Orleans. And when she called, she was informed that the over $1,100 stay was booked for the Colonel and a particular guest. Tamar reached out to Colonel Sanders and was basically told to kick rocks and ridiculed about her emotional stability. So Tamar took the information the hotel gave her and played Inspector Gadget on the Colonel's IG and found a profile that allegedly lined up with the guest information and posted the woman's profile on her stories, calling her a 25-year-old tramp. She also said that the Colonel had been playing in her face all along, to which everybody was like, "You don't say." The post went viral, and Tamar deleted it and tried to hide her hand after throwing the rock and pretend that she never meant any harm to the other woman involved. But because she was so hurt by her friend calling her stability into question, she posted that. Colonel Sanders then took to social media and seemingly tried to act like he didn't intentionally mean for Tamar to see what he was doing to trigger a response from her. basically trying to gaslight the world the way he does Tamar.
When you is tired of Tamar Braxton's gaslighting ex, trying to act like she was the only problem in their toxic situationship.
You look dusty, and your hair's uneven. Nobody likes you.
When Tamar responded with another live confirming that not only had they been married, but she was under the impression that they were still trying to fix their marriage, and didn't find out that their divorce was final until his birthday trip, after she had given him that non-refundable, personalized, blinged out pendant. She said that all the L's she had taken publicly were because she was behaving as a wife, trying to save their marriage, waiting on her husband to come back because he said he loved her, seeming to take pride in the fact that it wasn't just him dealing with her mess. She put up with things from him too, even marrying him after he ate her op's groceries. Then Tamar tried to normalize the contempt he feels for her, when he told her in previous conversations that even though they were still legally married, he was emotionally and physically unavailable to her. But he was out there hitting it and quitting it with other women. Tamar acted like this was okay because she was out there in the streets too, but saw the temporary nature of their liaisons with others as a sign that they were both still working on their marriage. It's giving humiliation is Tamar's love language, because even though she said she was the one to block him from communicating with her, you can still tell that she's holding out hope, because although the two have no biological children together, and according to their divorce filing, only lived as husband and wife for 61 days before separating, Tamar is basically begging him to allow her to still keep in touch with her kids, just like she won't deny him access to his son. Now, why would any woman who was completely done want a man who has shown nothing but contempt for her to indoctrinate her own son with this type of foolishness? Her son who already has a relationship with his actual biological father. Or why would she want continued access to children that she has known for less than 2 years and who have mothers of their own, unless she's hoping that this will keep a connection between the two of them? Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Have fun today.